Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Past TV. I'm your host, Blaine Barton, a senior IT pro evangelist with the developer and platform evangelism team at Microsoft. And the sun just came out. We're in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina, and today we're day 3. It's a big packed day, day 3. I got my first interview here. Notice the sunshine, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's out. I got Vicki Harp with me from Idera. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Welcome to Past TV.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so I always start out the interview with getting to know you a little bit. So why don't you tell our viewers today on Past TV a little about yourself?
Well, like I said, I'm Vicki Harp. I'm a product manager at Idera Software. I've been there for 9 years now. So I'm working on, right now I'm working on our new SQL Elements product. Prior to that, I worked for a number of years on SQL Diagnostic Manager. And so I started there as a support person, worked my way up through development, and now I'm a product manager.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what's the best thing you've seen here at PASS?
Oh,
PASS
you know,
Summit?
it's really hard to say. One of the best things about it is just when you're trying to walk from place to place and you see people you know from Twitter, people you've seen at SQL Saturdays around the country. And I love just kind of getting into seeing the community in person. But I also really love going to the SQL clinic and, you know, really talking to the people and asking questions and getting those one-on-one answers on everything.
Right. I was mentioning yesterday, you know, people kind of get queued up or in line and they wait to ask a question to one of the speakers and then they never get that question.
Yes.
So that SQL clinic was fantastic yesterday.
And
give people an opportunity to engage with the speakers and the real high-end SQL professionals and get the answers at their questions, right? So that's fantastic. So once again, tell us a little about the product you're engaged in and how you're kind of working with the community to help evangelize Idera.
All right, yeah. So, you know, I speak at SQL Saturdays around the country, and so that's one of the ways that, you know, I try to get out there and meet people and kind of get to know what people's needs are. So our new product is something that's really come out of that discovery process, and it's SQL Elements. It's a new thing for us. It's kind of a lightweight discovery tool that does, you know, kind of topological views of your server, inventory management, discovery, etc. And that's something that's we're kind of putting out right now. We announced it in beta this week, and we're here getting feedback on where we should go with it next. And that's something that's really important to us, is doing that constant improvement and constant delivery of features, because I might have an idea of what the community needs, but it's, you know, it's always amazing and surprising what people will come back and say, you know, actually we're playing with 2014, we need this new feature, or, you know, I'm going back and doing this other thing that, you know, maybe it's a trend we haven't heard about, and it keeps things exciting. You know, we've been working on products like this for a while, and there's always something new.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You're kind of the feet on the street, hearing from the customers, bringing that feedback back to the product group. So that's a fun job, isn't it?
It is. It's great.
Yes. So how are you involved in PASS? You've been doing SQL Saturdays. In fact, where do you live? And kind of tell us about SQL Saturdays you're doing there.
So I live in Houston, Texas, and so I try to make it out. We have a lunchtime user group out there, so
Excellent.
I try to get out there. Okay. And then the Texas groups, you know, we tend to be able to get a contingent of the Idera folks to kind of driving distance over to Austin or up to Dallas.
Excellent.
And then I try to get out probably at least once a quarter to one a little bit further afield. So I've been, you know, out to Portland and, you know, Louisville and a couple other places. So maybe about 10, 12 total in the last 2 years.
Okay, excellent. So where are you going next? Down on the floor again? Or you got a booth down there, or what?
Oh, no, actually, I think the next one for me is probably going to be Dallas.
Oh, the next is Dallas?
Yeah,
okay, gotcha.
November.
Okay, all right. And is Idera here at the PASS Summit?
Yes, we're booth 316. So
316?
we've been there all day.
Well, they can't go to booth 316 because they're on the internet worldwide today. But maybe you can do a shout out for the URL where they can get more information about Idera.
Yeah, absolutely. It's idera.com, idera.com, and we have all the information about the new product beta that we're announcing, and as well as SQL Diagnostic Manager 8.0, which we announced and is available this week.
Fantastic. Vicki Harp,
all right, thank you so
Idera.
much.
So, yeah, one of our sponsors joining us this morning. Once again, we're on day 3. Welcome back to Past TV. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at #PastTV. And once again, I'm Blaine Barton. I'm your host. We got Adam coming in. How you doing, Adam?
Doing well. How are you, Blaine?
I'm doing good. Give me 5.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Yep, no problem. You know, you and I, we've known each other for quite some time.
Yeah.
Bumping into each other. I think the last time I saw you was at one of our events.
Absolutely.
And you're doing SQL Saturdays, and you're really involved in PASS, and we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Awesome.
But Adam Jorgensen, I want to get to know you a little bit more, specifically for our viewers today on Past TV. So tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got started in all this.
So, like you said, my name's Adam Jorgensen. I live in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
And I'm lucky enough to work with some great folks at Pragmatic Works. We're a SQL Server partner, so we're neck deep in all these same technologies like the rest of our community. We have 85 countries watching.
That's crazy.
That is amazing to me.
That's fantastic.
When we talk about community, I mean, Florida has such a vibrant, SQL community, like so many of our other states just here in the U.S. And to see that grow country by country and continue to see, SQL Saturdays and user groups and all these areas just pop up, and virtual chapters are language specific, and
fantastic.
It's so exciting.
Women in technology and how that's taken off.
How great was that lunch yesterday?
That was awesome.
Unbelievable.
That was awesome. And you kind of planted the seed for SQL Saturdays down there in Florida, right?
Yeah, we've got some
that's
great
exciting.
leaders down there in Florida, and some folks have been just so passionate about the community for so long, and we're really lucky to have been doing that for a while now and be able to mentor some other folks into having some really great events.
Yeah, we'll take a minute here just to do a shout out for Florida. I mean, great people: Andy Warren, Bonnie Allard, Pam Shaw,
Yep.
even Chad Miller, working
Yep.
at Raymond James,
Yep.
DBA manager over there. You start looking at people like Rodney and Carla,
Yep.
and all the folks in Florida that kind of got together. Through the community of knowing each other and through SQL Server, and then being able to do the SQL Saturday, the first one. And what number are we on now?
Oh, I don't even
Right?
know.
It's
so
a couple hundred,
and I think
276 or something like that,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And I think what's amazing is we have folks from Florida who have now moved, and they've gone up New Hampshire, Colorado, other places, and first thing, SQL Saturday popping up,
Fantastic.
and it's awesome. It's so cool to see.
Yeah. So let's transition over to PASS.
Okay.
Okay, because that's pretty exciting. I know you're, or maybe you want to tell our viewers, but you're the incoming executive VP for finance.
Yes.
So tell us how you got involved with it as a board member, and tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing.
So volunteering is a real honor when it comes to working with PASS, right? And we have so many different opportunities, and I really felt like being on the board was somewhere I could really contribute. I've had a lot of passion around our programs for Summit.
Right.
I participated there as a volunteer and watched that grow, and been able to be a regional mentor. And so somebody suggested, well, if you want to do more, think about running for the board. So I did, was successful, able to get on the board. I was happy the community had the faith in me to put me in that role. And we've been working pretty hard over the last year and a half or 2 years since I've been on there, made some really great changes, really expanded the way we do some things through the program committee to make it more scalable, help us run multiple events, all these types of things. And so I wanted to be able to take it a step further and help us set strategy around governance and what we're doing financially as we go forward, as well as working with some of our IT assets where we know we have some growth that we want to do as we move into a lot of these new technologies that you're seeing in the keynote.
Right.
One of the coolest things I saw was some internal PASS folks from HQ who are just phenomenal. They saw the keynote and they saw some of the new Power BI tools, and they said, when can we get those? Those are amazing, and how do we start using those right away? And we were able to just go in and kind of turn it on for them and just watch that light up and watch their whole job role start to get more efficient in minutes was so powerful.
Right. Eyes get big, get excited about the new technology. Talk about BA conference.
So
that's pretty exciting.
It is super exciting, and for a number of reasons. So one, as many of you saw in the keynote, we've got a couple of different major places where PASS gets our proceeds from a funds raising perspective, right? Summit is a big one. It's generally our largest one. We want to be able to diversify that a little bit, so we wanted to run another flagship event. At the same time, we also wanted to be able to start bringing in more of those analytics folks, the people that are working not just on the server technology or on the desktop technology, but folks that are really crunching data and doing very cool things. And they're the folks that work hand in hand with our core membership. And so as we begin to broaden that horizon, we've got sessions for data scientists, sessions for BI pros, sessions for folks that are just really excited about doing some really, really cool things with data, things that we don't necessarily quite get to in this conference. And there's a little bit of overlap to help people cover, but just some really fantastic things. We had a great inaugural event last year.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh man, Chicago.
Okay, all right.
Just a phenomenal program. Really nice, balanced across 4 or 5 tracks from analytics to advanced visualizations and just things that people are just asking about in droves these days, right? And we have so many people who attended that conference who said, my boss came back or my CIO came back and said, we need a big data strategy or we need a data science strategy, and they went,
what is that?
What does that mean, right? And so they're out on Bing trying to find out. And,
I do. Big data. What is all this stuff, right?
And as you know, it's a big thing, right? It's a whole ecosystem. So that conference is really well positioned to help a lot of people begin to drill in and figure out how those things relate to them. and take people that are already doing it and give them some 400 level awesome relationships, networking, valuable content. So we're doing it again this year in San Jose.
Okay.
Right in the analytics, big data backyard of the U.S. And so we're pretty excited. We're expecting a phenomenal event. Call for speakers is open
there
right
you go.
now.
Sign up.
It's closing.
Where do they go to sign up?
SQLpass.org. You can navigate right there. You betcha. And you're going to be able to sign up, submit a great abstract. We've got a great program committee. I'm actually meeting with them after this.
Great.
To get everything kicked off, and we're pretty fired up about it.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Adam Jorgensen, it's always
Thank
a pleasure.
you. You as well.
I bump into you quite a bit. It's always a pleasure seeing you, and it looks like you're going to be taking over the Executive Vice President for Finance for PASS, so it's pretty exciting. You've been a board member, and of course working with SQL. So thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, anytime.
Take care.
So follow us on Twitter, hashtag PASSTV. We're going to be taking some of those Twitter feeds, I think, a little bit here, and we're going to do some shout outs, but we're going to talk to our next presenter, Kevin Kline from SQL Century. How you doing?
I'm very good.
I'm Blaine Barton, so welcome to PASS TV. So before we start the interview and kind of get to know the products and some of the strategies you have with SQL Century as one of our sponsors, we'd like to get to know you a little bit.
Sure.
So tell us a little about yourself, maybe your background, how you got involved with SQL, and maybe what you like about PASS so far.
Right? Oh, well, actually I wanted to show you one of my props here. I'm actually one of the original founding board members of PASS.
Fantastic.
And I was president for 4 years of the organization.
Excellent.
So I'm really passionate about this organization.
Okay, and you're one of the founders, if not.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
So that's fantastic, because you see, look behind us, look at the community.
What a positive experience that is, huh?
It's been a big eye opener for me on day 3. Day 1, I'm thinking, oh, it's just another summit, it's just another conference.
Right.
It's far from that.
Right.
It's more of a family reunion.
It is.
And getting people together and the networking opportunities, and to talk to the professionals and get your answers to your questions. And people network around the world, and they constantly are communicating, but this is really one summit that they can all get together, have some fun. NASCAR, Hall of Fame last night.
That's right.
They'll have a couple drinks, kick back, and really have an opportunity to network. So once again, tell us, you're past president.
Yes.
Past president for
That's
PASS.
right. And,
but tell us a little bit about how you got involved with SQL Server.
Well, I was actually an enterprise DBA at a very large enterprise that used both Oracle and other database platforms, and we were one of the very first adopters of SQL Server. I actually started working with it before it was a Windows product.
Okay, gotcha.
So very, very early days, and I'd written some books about Oracle. And so when they decided to form a professional association for SQL Server, now that I was working on one of the largest enterprises supporting SQL Server products, the Microsoft people said, hey, Kevin, you'd be a really good person to be on this board of directors for this new association. And so I still have one foot in the Oracle world, and I do a lot of MySQL and DB2, but SQL Server is what I'm really passionate about, really love it. And from the very get-go, when we founded this association, one of the things that we really set our hearts on was to make this a community that really cares.
Right.
And so if we've had about 1,500 people here at this event, our first time to come.
Yeah.
And first time here at the event. And just looking at the amount of things we have specifically to acclimate and welcome first-timers.
Right.
Hours and hours and hours on Tuesday for orientations and getting to know the community and getting to know each other. We are really passionate about you not just coming and learning a lot, but like making lifetime connections, people who you can be friends with on an intimate level for years to come.
Right.
It's very important to us.
It is. Fantastic. You're talking about Oracle there. Well, you may or may not know, and you probably do, is the gallery inside of our public cloud services with Azure. Now we have Oracle in there. You can spin up a VM with Oracle on Linux or with Windows. So with Oracle coming into our big cloud infrastructure, that's pretty big, right? So now you got Oracle and SQL, and it's kind of a marriage there. It's an interesting marriage.
And it's the reality of the world. 60% of the Fortune 1000 corporations out there have more than 2 database platforms.
Right.
So you got to be able to talk both languages at
Absolutely.
least
It's
to some
not a
degree.
homogeneous environment anymore. It's
Nope.
very heterogeneous and lots of
Exactly.
different working parts
Right.
to make the business run, right?
Yes,
so
indeed.
so let's talk about, SQL Sentry, SQL Server with analytics services, SharePoint, Windows environments. Tell us a little about the products that you're responsible for, and then we'll get to talk a little bit more about PAS.
Sure, sure. Well, the first thing I want to say is welcome to our hometown.
Okay.
So Charlotte is
All
our
right.
hometown, and
Gotcha.
we tried to roll out the red carpet this year. We supplied the trolley that takes everybody around to the different venues throughout town. If you're trying to get to a restaurant, you may have ridden one of the trolleys. We did all kinds of sponsorships for the Women in Technology Luncheon, for the welcome reception, all kinds of things.
That's great.
This is where we're at, and SQL Server is our wheelhouse. We love SQL Server. Everybody who works at this company here in Charlotte is really passionate about SQL Server.
Right.
We are all former DBAs or developers or engineers for SQL Server as the platform for the stuff that we are working on. So when the company started to build tools for SQL Server, not just tools on SQL Server, we thought about what is SQL Server really good at, and what can we exploit and expound upon it, amplify, that sort of thing.
Right.
Things like monitoring your SQL Server system in ways that no one else does. So we give you deeper insight, not just into the relational engine, but all of the really, and many times, neglected aspects from other ways of looking at your system. So we go into analysis services deeper than anyone else.
Nice.
Always on availability service,
That's great.
high availability,
Yes.
deeper than anyone else. We have the top of the line industry's best, most respected query analysis tools called Plan Explorer. So from the very top, looking at your whole system, all the way down to the very deepest level of work in your SQL Server, whether that's a SSIS package or a SQL script. Our tools are all about making your SQL Server better, easier to manage, easier to monitor.
Nice. So 4 years, past president.
I was, 2004 to 2008.
That's awesome. So now you look back, you take a look behind us, and how do you feel? Is it pretty proud?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was kind of bittersweet when I finally rolled off the board of directors in 2000, at the end of 2010, first of 2011. But it's a mature organization now, and the leadership of the organization, succession is something that was hard in the early days to roll from one president to the next.
Right.
It was difficult. Now it's smooth,
Right.
and I have full confidence in everybody who's running this organization. So when I look at this event and I see 5,000 plus people here, it's nothing but pride.
Right.
Yeah. I kind of feel like, hey, I helped dig the well for this.
Right.
And now look at all the water
Planted
we
the
can.
seed for the SQL Server Super Bowl, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
basically what it is,
exactly,
right?
exactly,
And
yeah.
and here in Charlotte, and you live here in Charlotte. So with that, what's the most important thing that you've seen, or the most exciting thing that you've seen in the last 3 days?
I think the most exciting thing that I'm seeing, and keep in mind I've delivered all kinds of sessions here, from first-timer orientation sessions to highly technical sessions, and I've also done some professional development speaking here at the event as
Great.
well. One of the most exciting things I'm seeing is that SQL skills, database administration skills, are evergreen in the sense that every year we have new people who are a clean slate. They say, thousands of people are saying, I'm a DBA and I wasn't trained in college with an MBA in DBA work or a bachelor's in DBA work. I'm trying to figure this out. What do I do?
Right.
And every year when we come back, not only are there these great sessions where you can learn these things, but people get really excited when they see, here are all these people willing to be my mentor,
Right.
right?
Right.
It almost has a feel of 100 years ago, 200 years ago, in which you had masters and apprentices.
Right.
And so it's interesting to go out into the wider world and see a lot of the accidental or first-time DBAs just starting in their career, and they're struggling. And you see, wow, that's tough. I feel what you're experiencing. I've been through that too. But then when you come to PAS, you get this excitement because you see people making connections, and you see a very senior person who's saying, I'm so energized because now I have someone who I could share all of my burdens with, who wants to learn this.
Right.
And,
right.
and then you have the junior person who's saying, I finally have found a mentor who could tell me what I need to be worrying about and what's a distraction.
Right.
That's really neat.
It is, and when they leave, when they leave past Summit, they've got those connections.
That's
and
right.
And then next year, they feel, back to the family reunion again.
That's right.
And,
They're
then
so good to see you.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you, and that mentorship along the way. So,
Right.
ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Kline, if you're watching, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world today. We're bringing it worldwide. And once again, Kevin Kline from SQL Century. Thanks a lot. Appreciate
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being on
Appreciate
Past TV.
All right.
So welcome back. I'm Blaine Barton, Past TV. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at #PastTV. We've got Lana and Chris joining us once again.
Hey,
How you
Blaine.
doing? Good to
Pretty
see you.
good.
Day 3,
Yeah.
right? We're excited. We're wrapping things up as we go through the day.
I'm sad it's over.
Oh,
Almost
yeah.
over.
Yeah, we were at NASCAR Hall of Fame last night. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, we got to talk to lots of attendees and try out some of the games. It was really good.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes, you did a bunch of interviews at Feet on the Street there.
Yeah.
So that was pretty neat.
Yeah, it was great. And today we've got the Birds of a Feather Luncheon. So there's 71 tables and they're all different technical and community professional development topics and the board Q&A.
Nice.
There'll be some blogs posted later with all the topics that were discussed in the board Q&A for the greater community to see. And then, just lots of great more sessions today. And
The Birds of a Feather is really cool because as an attendee, if you have a certain specific topic or subject area you want to focus on, you
Right.
go find a table that's the area you want to focus on. And they have experts that have volunteered to sit at the tables and have extended discussions.
It's like
And
free consultations.
It's again, yeah. And the tables are relatively small, 8, 9, 10 people at a table, so you're not fighting to get somebody's attention. You have the opportunity to ask and hear what other people are asking that are interested in the exact same technology.
Right.
And then they can feed off each other too. They can answer each other's questions. It's pretty cool.
Right now, we had the SQL Clinic yesterday, so how'd that go?
yeah,
Oh,
that was great.
awesome.
I think Chris can probably talk to that.
That was awesome. And it's same sort of a deal where, again, it's all about interacting with the experts and who knows better than the CAT team, the team that's out working from Microsoft. They're out working with customers. They're out interacting. They're seeing the big problems. They're seeing all these different issues, and they are just going to town. They're having a great time. Mark Souza sat down and talked to us. Chuck Heisman spent some time visiting with us. We could even see as we're having the discussions in the background, we're looking at it. It was just amazing.
That's
just
awesome.
amazing.
We've got 85 countries represented at
Wow.
Past Summit. Can you believe that? 85 countries. A lot of people from around the world watching us live right now, and 190 sessions.
Yeah.
I guess there's a way you can go and purchase those sessions.
Yeah,
right?
you can.
How do
So you
do
can
that?
actually purchase on USB now.
Okay.
You can purchase the complete set of session recordings.
Okay.
So that's available up on the live site at the moment. There's also downloads for attendees as well.
Okay.
After the conference ends.
Yeah, that's good. I think it takes a while to get the downloads ready. You might know a little bit more about that.
Okay, but check the website, Past Summit, or SQLPass.org, and you can get all that information about if you're missing the sessions, or you were sound asleep while we were doing sessions during the day. You can get online and get that USB and have that delivered to yourself. So, with that, what else you want to close with? We're going to be coming back later, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Just want to add on that USB. I even had a discussion on 10 minutes ago. Somebody couldn't get into a session; it was too full, or they were like, "Wow, I had 2 sessions I wanted to see at this time
Right,
slot."
right.
And I'm
We
like,
see that a lot.
This
Yeah.
is what it's for. It's what it's
Right.
here for.
Yeah, well, great.
And you can
Lana.
share it with colleagues and, have a little round table over a lunch and learn and share with your colleagues what the sessions you went to and
Yeah, a
all
little
the rest of them
trainer.
as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Exactly.
Fantastic. Lana, Chris.
Thanks, Blaine.
I'll talk to you in a little bit, all
One
right?
more day,
Okay.
let's get it done.
That's right, on day 3. Yeah, so here we are at Past TV on day 3, and we're going to be moving to a session here in just a moment. It's with Ryan Adams. I had an interview with Ryan Adams yesterday. We're going to be moving to that session, policy-based management and central management server. Try to say that 10 times as fast as you can, right? So with that, once again, I'm Blaine Barton, Past TV, and we'll be back in just a little while. Thanks.